Imagine a place where being a Christian could cost you your freedom, or even your life. Now picture a reality where, despite severe persecution, thousands are surrendering their lives to Christ. Sounds impossible? It's happening right now, in one of the most religiously oppressive countries on earth. Yes, in Iran. A country known for its harsh theocracy and religious crackdowns, a spiritual awakening is quietly unfolding. While owning a Bible is a crime and professing faith makes you a target, the underground church is alive and growing. It's one of the most unexpected Christian revivals of our time. These believers gather in secret, share the word quietly, and live daily under threat of arrest, torture, or even death. Yet their lives shine with unwavering faith. In Iran, thousands of Christians face persecution not as victims, but as bold witnesses of Christ's love and power. And what about us? We live in countries where religious freedom is guaranteed. We can worship without fear, read the Bible in public, and share the gospel openly. Yet, with all this freedom, what are we really doing with the message of Christ? Has our faith become routine, comfortable, powerless? Are we truly living the gospel like those who risk everything in Iran? Or are we settling for a version of Christianity that asks nothing of us and transforms no one? Today you'll witness the silent revival transforming Iran, a nation ruled by darkness, where Christ's light is breaking through. Listen closely to their stories of courage, pain, and faith. They may just challenge everything you thought about following Jesus. Watch until the end. Share, comment, and reflect. And if you want to learn about Iran's prophetic destiny, don't miss our video. Iran, can Jesus' salvation be revealed in an oppressed nation? It appears at the end. Just click and discover more. Since 1979, Iran has been an Islamic republic. What began as a popular uprising against the Shah turned into something else entirely. A movement fueled by cries for freedom quickly gave way to a theocratic regime led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, the man who promised liberty, justice, and human rights. Khomeini's words united a diverse population under the dream of a new future. But his true intentions emerged soon after he seized power, establishing a strict Islamic theocracy. The revolution was rebranded as the Islamic Revolution. Iran's penal code was rewritten to reflect Sharia law, and Western influence was wiped out. Under Khomeini, Iran changed rapidly. School books were rewritten to reflect Islamic ideology, and opposition voices were silenced. He cracked down on leftist revolutionaries and even liberal Islamic clerics. Dissent was crushed. The revolution that promised freedom began to suffocate its own people under strict religious control. To enforce this new regime, Khomeini created a powerful military force, the Revolutionary Guard. Their mission? To defend the Islamic Revolution from any threat, foreign or domestic. For them, Christians, especially those from Muslim backgrounds, became one of those threats. Strict Sharia laws were now the rule. Western culture, ideas, and symbols were labeled dangerous and erased. Music, books, and fashion from the West vanished. The regime enforced loyalty, not just to Iran, but to their interpretation of Islam. This radical transformation caused deep division. Many Iranians who had once celebrated the revolution felt betrayed. The promise of equality had turned into a system of surveillance and fear. Speaking out meant arrest. Worshipping freely became a crime. The dream had turned into a nightmare. From the outside, Iran often looks like a nation of religious fanatics. But behind the curtain, the story is changing. More and more Iranians are turning away from Islam. In fact, a groundbreaking survey in 2020 revealed that nearly half of the population no longer identifies with the Islamic faith. The study was conducted by GAMA, a research group based in the Netherlands. It bypassed state censorship using online VPNs. The results were stunning. Only 32% identified as Shia Muslims. Many said they had lost their faith entirely. A quiet revolution in the heart of a theocratic regime.
Iran may be one of the most secular countries in the Middle East today, says Mansour Borji from the human rights group Article 18. He believes the Islamic Republic's oppressive policies have pushed people away from religion, especially those who were once faithful. Many Iranians no longer find answers in state-sponsored religion. Years of broken promises, repression, and fear have left deep scars. The hope once tied to Islam has faded, and people are beginning to ask, what else is out there? What if the truth lies beyond what we were told? Iran is home to many ethnic groups. Most are Persian, but there are also Armenians and Assyrians, two groups with deep Christian roots. Before the revolution, they made up the majority of Christians in Iran, worshiping in historic Orthodox and Catholic churches. Some also attended Western-founded Protestant congregations. Because of their connection to the West, these churches faced pressure soon after the revolution. But it wasn't until the 1990s that the regime began cracking down hard. By then, something unexpected was happening. Muslims, disillusioned with the regime, were coming to Christ. Armenians and Assyrians were allowed to worship, but Persians were expected to remain Muslim. Preaching to Muslims, baptizing them, or welcoming them into church was strictly forbidden. Violators paid the ultimate price, including Pastor Hossein Soodmand, executed in 1990 for apostasy. Other church leaders, like Mehdi Dibaj and Hak Hovsepian, were also killed, their deaths shrouded in mystery. When ultra-conservative President Ahmadinejad came to power in 2005, persecution worsened. Churches were shut down, pastors arrested, more leaders disappeared. But the regime didn't expect what happened next. The underground church exploded. House churches multiplied. Even with the threat of death, the gospel could not be stopped. A movement was rising, one fueled by faith, not fear.
Subscribe to our channel. Help reflect God's love through our videos.
According to the World Watch List 2025, Iran is the 9th most dangerous country in the world to be a Christian. Yet, despite oppression and authoritarian control, the gospel continues to spread. When churches were shut down, believers went underground, and house churches began to multiply. When Pastor Victor Bet Tamraz's church was shut down in 2009 for holding services in Persian, he shocked security forces with his words, "If you close the doors of the church, God will open the gates of heaven." Today, the gospel spreads quietly, but powerfully. Churches have been shut down, pastors arrested, even executed. But this only fueled revival. House churches, small hidden gatherings, continue to grow across Iran. And how does the gospel reach people in such a closed country? Through tools like websites, satellite TV, and social media. One of the most powerful tools has been satellite television, led by an Iranian Christian named Hormoz. For over 20 years, Hormoz and his team have broadcast evangelistic programs, discipleship courses, family counseling, and more. Despite government attempts to block their signal, people still find ways to call and say, "I want Jesus. I want to pray to receive him." These broadcasts, created in partnership with Open Doors Global Network, have been lifelines for thousands. Through the screen, people encounter Christ, secretly, boldly, and many choose to follow him, no matter the cost. Among many powerful testimonies is the story of Pastor Iman. For 20 years, he was enslaved to drugs, hopeless, until one night he came across a Christian TV program. That night changed everything. He found the joy of salvation and couldn't keep it to himself. Without knowing a single church, he started pointing people to Christian TV, turning it into his personal evangelism tool. But evangelism in Iran comes at a price. While many can access Christian content online, thanks to Open Doors and others, they risk being watched, interrogated, or even imprisoned. Behind the wall of censorship, There are Bibles, discipleship courses, Christian films, and house churches. Hidden sanctuaries where faith is nurtured without drawing suspicion from Muslim families. But the danger is real. A simple act, like liking or sharing a Bible verse online, can lead to accusations of Zionist activity or threats to national security. Many face years in prison or worse. On YouTube, an interview reveals the story of Masood and Sarah, two former Muslims from Iran who found Christ in the United States. After their conversion, they couldn't stay silent. They began evangelizing Iranians, using every tool available: the internet, satellite TV, phone calls, social media. Today, they lead a network of nearly 60 underground churches. Masood and Sarah don't just preach, they disciple, train leaders, and baptize new believers. Even under threat of death, they say, "We must obey God rather than men." One of the most powerful phenomena described by Sarah is how many Iranians are meeting Jesus in their dreams. A woman once called the ministry saying, "I dreamt of a man in white who called me by name and said, 'Follow me. I am the way, the truth, and the life.'" That night, her life changed forever. Stories like hers are not rare. Masood says that over half of the conversions they witness start with dreams or supernatural visions of Jesus. It's as if heaven is reaching directly into Iran, calling people by name, one heart at a time. In the silence of night, faith is awakened in secret. Then there's John, a former rapper from Iran who found Jesus and couldn't stay silent. He recorded Christian songs in Farsi, but the Revolutionary Guard found out. He said, "I wanted to surrender, but my lawyer warned me. They will kill you or send you away for life. You are a threat to them now." This is the daily reality for many Iranian Christians. A song, a prayer, a shared verse, any of these can be seen as rebellion. Christians who leave Islam lose everything: their homes, families, jobs. Some are tortured, others disappear. But still they believe, still they speak. Even in the darkness, their light cannot be silenced. Despite the danger, Iranian Christians continue to inspire the world. They seek not just safety, but transformation. They don't just survive, they thrive in the shadows. Their faith spreads underground, heart to heart, home to home. This hidden revival is one of the most powerful movements of faith on earth today. In recent weeks, persecution against religious minorities in Iran has escalated drastically. According to Open Doors, at least 43 Christians have been arrested across several cities. These arrests appear to be part of a wider crackdown, orchestrated by Iran's Ministry of Intelligence, targeting anyone suspected of spreading Christianity. Some were arrested simply for owning a Bible. Others were accused under a terrifying new bill, one that criminalizes any cooperation with hostile states, like the US or Israel. For Muslim background believers, it's open season. They're called Zionists, traitors or part of deviant sects, all for choosing to follow Jesus. This isn't just about policy. It's a deeply rooted ideology. Iran's government sees evangelical Christianity as a threat to Islam, to the family, to the nation. Judges have declared it corrupts Muslim society and aligns with enemies of the state. Fueled by propaganda, the media calls Christians filthy rats. Dehumanization is the first step to destruction. Conditions inside Iranian prisons are growing more brutal. After the recent airstrike on Evin prison, things only got worse. At least 11 Christians were moved to unknown locations. One woman, Aida Najaflu, remains in prison because she can't pay the ransom they call bail. Aida faces multiple charges, like propaganda against the Islamic Republic and collusion, all for praying, baptizing new believers, and posting Christian content online. She's also accused of supporting the woman life freedom movement and criticizing political figures on social media. The Bible itself was listed as banned material in her case. Despite growing international concern, Iran's government continues to crush dissent through fear. Each arrest, each false charge,
each brutal sentence. It's all part of a strategy to silence the faithful. But these stories remind us of the high cost of faith in Iran and the ongoing fight for religious freedom.
And yet, God is moving in Iran. In a land where persecution and death loom daily, the fire of the gospel is burning brighter than ever. Underground churches are growing. Iranians are turning to Jesus in record numbers. A quiet revolution is underway. If you are moved by this story of faith and courage in Iran, share this video and help spread the word. Leave a comment below and tell us what you think about the revival happening in Iran. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories of faith and perseverance.